I mean, I'm okay if it's a small crowd. Feels like there used to be more people lately, but it's okay. If anything, there's always the video, and I'm sure that someone will show up. So, do you want to just speak about OpenAPI?
Yeah. So I need to update the document page, but the OpenAPI should now work without patches to Schemata, I'm pretty sure, for JSON API, not for REST. REST still needs a patch, which I have to mention on the doc page. But again, like I'm sort of did the very basics of sort of saying, okay, on the Git, you return back the thing that Schemata sends you, but all of the ones that aren't that are like the related collection one, and I forget what the other ones are, need to be updated. So basically, just will spit out the pages. I'm not really, I can't say whether they are I can tell you they're not correct yet. So it spits out also the downloads, and then I added this. There's a submodule for Swagger UI, and there's a submodule for Redoc. I'm just going to keep them both in because they're both pretty thin. Most of the work is actually generating the actual OpenAPI output. So yeah, just any feedback I could get on that, or pull requests. Actually, I'm not sure if I have maybe it's all on D.O right now. So any patches or issues as far as like cleaning up to make it actually documented will be good. So that's the update.
That's pretty great. Did you get the patches committed, or did you just work it out inside of the OpenAPI module?
The patch for Schemata module to work with 8.3.x and stuff to change the link manager, that is in. But the one that makes it so that you can have entity-only routes for things that also have bundles is still out there. Okay. But you should not get a fatal error with that, except if you're trying to do REST right now. REST, you'll get actually.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. Also, I believe that the OpenAPI docs will not be 100% correct because we will be missing type and ID because there's an open patch.
I think I added that because I saw that it was needed, but yeah, I'd like to remove it in OpenAPI and have Schemata just work it.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So you're doing a polyfill there. Yeah. That's great. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna push this, if possible, into Contenta. Okay. But I'm gonna wait for the docs.
Well, the docs are out there. It's just if the OpenAPI output is not correct, the docs won't be correct.
Oh, I mean the documentation on how to use OpenAPI that you mentioned at the beginning.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Sorry, it was confusing.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
That's great, and good luck with your deadline.
Yeah. Alrighty. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye, Dad. Hi, Chris.
Hey.
So, okay, I'm gonna give a quick update on JSON API stuff. I'm planning on a release soon-ish, mainly because there is quite some stuff in the dev version that is needed for JSON API extras. And when we are installing with Composer, since it prefers stable versions, versioning, it's hard. We could solve it in Composer for building the distribution, but this stuff is already in dev, and it should make it to a release soon. However, there are a couple of things that I want to get in with the release. And that is making sure that the includes when you're using JSON API extras are picked up, and that is negotiated in JSON API, and that's still not 100% there yet. So I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. I'm sorry if that is kind of awkward for you guys using JSON API extras, but I think it's gonna be more useful if everything goes in one go.
Matteo, does it mean when you actually use, so currently there's a workaround for these include parameters to use the old field names.
Mm-hmm.
So will that be gone afterwards, or?
So we need a patch that basically just when doing the includes thingy uses a function in JSON API. A method of the resource type object. So on the current resource, you have the resource type definition, and the resource type definition knows about the mapping between public and internal names. So if you only use JSON API, public and internal are the same, but for sake of loosely coupled design, we want to separate those. So JSON API extras can come and can actually make those to be different. So that's why these changes need to go into JSON API first, and then JSON API extras will just work. So yeah, it basically swaps the service, and then the new service, instead of giving you the same thing, the same input that you provided, it just does some checking.
So Matteo, if that's a blocker for a new release of JSON API, do you have the D.O issue handy for that issue? I know we've worked on it some on my side, and my team could throw some more effort at that this week.
That would be awesome.
So if you got the D.O issue handy, I'll make sure there's a ticket on our Jira board.
I will track it. Yes, I will track it. Let me write this down. Otherwise. All right, we'll do that, and that's great. So there is that, and also there are some other issues that SplashGuy is working on, and I wish that he was on the call. But it's mostly about developer experience. Have you ever written a filter in JSON API? Did you get it right at the first time? Probably not. I don't either. But now you get nice error messages when you just forget to add a value for your filter or whatever. So he's working on stuff like that, and I think it's great. But I won't block the release for those, because those can get in, like trickling in. We have filters, which is the most important, but there are issues for sort and pagination. And that's pretty much it. I don't want to be too strict on what people put in their query strings, because extensibility. People do dirty things with their APIs, and I'm fine with that. So we should allow other query string parameters. Where else? Yeah, not much. Apart from that, there is a bug. Not sure how many people are authenticating their requests using OAuth, but there is a bug that is somewhat important in a simple auth, and that is that if you use simple auth, at the moment there is a workaround. You need to have simple auth extras installed as well, or enabled as well, which is the same, I guess, installed and enabled. But yeah, otherwise you get a nasty error that should be resolved. But yeah, needs some work. So that is pretty much it as far as I know. I know that Dan is working on or experimented with sub-requests, and I'm eager to know about the experience that he had. He said that he may write some of his thoughts down, and that would be great because documentation is key.
Yeah, I can give a brief update on that. We have them working. They're working great. The main DX experience issue that we've had with them is that you have to wrap the sub-request body. You have to escapeify and stringify it. So we're trying to figure out a way to get around that. So we may have a patch this week to
That's
fix
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, then there's caching and stuff, but that is more of a detail. Like people being able to use it is kind of the important part at this point. So yeah, that's great. Well, why don't we go down the line, and so people can speak their minds. Chris, do you have something that you want to share?
No, I was just trying to kind of get back into things. Haven't been focusing a lot on JSON API for a while.
That's great. I'm not sure if you heard about it. Probably yes, because you are on top of many things. But if you would like to, there is a Contenta Ember team, and if you want to just get added to that and see if you want to get involved later in the future, I can add you to that. And if not, just just giving you the idea. If you want to write recipe magazine front end, which is what people write these days. But yeah, just let me know. Cool, and glad to have you back.
Yeah, that sounds good. Why don't you throw me in there and I'll see what's going on. Yeah.
Cool, fantastic. Currently, the only person in the team is Pedro Cambra. I don't know if you know him. If you don't, then it's just your lucky day, because you're gonna know him, and he's great. So yeah, we'll do that. Is your d.org username the same as GitHub username?
No.
Okay, DM me the GitHub username.
Okay.
Cool. Great. Daniel, what do you have?
Not sure what I have. We worked on Contenta this week, and Matteo basically stopped sleeping for a while in order to have an automated deployment for the Contenta backend, which means that in case anyone wants to write a front end, there is now a backend hosted under, what is this? dev-contenta.contentSite.io? No, I'm not sure. It doesn't autocomplete right now. But there is now a backend anyone can use. I think we should discuss at some point whether people should be able to upload new recipes there, because it would be also really interesting to see what kind of UIs people can build to actually edit content or add new recipes or something like that. It would be also good to test out contact integration. I know that contact messages currently don't work. They throw exceptions if you actually try to post them, but it's a really good step in the right direction to have actually a backend hosted.
I will post a link into the documentation, because I realized that if you don't know the link, then it's because it's nowhere findable. Cool. So I guess that we just relay the call for Elm developers for collaboration, right?
Yeah, the Elm frontend starts to develop, starts to work quite well now. It would be great to get feedback. I'm not an expert in Elm, so there are many things to do and many things to improve. In case someone knows something about material design, that would be also great, because it's not obvious how to convert the the wireframes to actual material design. So in case someone has experience with that, it would be great to talk with them. Join us on the Contenta Slack channel in the Drupal Slack.
And I think that this is something that can benefit from cross collaboration, right? Because people using material design in different front ends are probably going to face the same issues. So yeah, cool. That's great. And in case anyone is curious, if you type in elm.contentacms.io, you will see that. So thank you for posting that publicly available, Daniel. All right. If anyone wants to type angular.contentacms.io, IO, they will see what they will see, Matt.
They will see the brand new Angular implementation of Contenta, which is exciting. We really just got it off the ground last week. And we're working hard on it for the next few weeks as well. So it's pretty bare bones right now, but we're kind of building out the scaffolding and the base feature set first. But we have recipes being imported now. And we're working really a lot on the NGRX state management side of things this week, especially so we can get sorts and filters and that kind of thing going in a really performant way. But it's got continuous integration all set up with Travis CI. It works offline. It's an installable web app. So there's some cool features we're really excited about.
I had to admit,
and we could definitely use more help.
Had to admit that when I read the feature set, was like very impressed, and I was just thinking that this may be working because the discussion that you were having, you and Joao, was kind of reminding me of some discussions that I heard about the React implementation, and that's the whole point of having, discussing best practices for people to do that for other things than recipe magazines, which I'm told that there are other things besides recipe magazines. Not sure if that is true, but yeah, that's great, and it's very exciting to see how like different front ends and to the date everything has been website, which I think it makes sense, right? Given the background, the Drupal community. But yeah, all of the front ends right now share like the same general shape, like the same Redux style for state managing, the same idea of building on components, etc., etc. So yeah, it's great to have all this. I mean, I think it's going to fulfill its initial purpose. Curious about if the Ionic project takes off. I'm not super familiar on the state of this, but yeah, there is an Ionic repo out there already. So we'll see. The first non-website thingy for this. So for me, unless you have anything else, Matt.
There's a couple other things. I just wanted to make sure that Decoupled Dev Days was highlighted because that was a big week last week. So we officially announced our venue, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, 30 Rock in Manhattan. It's going to be August 19th and 20th. And everyone that's involved in these API first initiatives definitely is more than welcome there. We hope that people submit sessions. And even if you can't be there in person, we're going to be working on things that are very relevant to what we discuss here every week. So I think it's going to be super exciting. And the call for papers is also open. So you can go to decoupledevdays.com. Get more information. The only other thing I wanted to highlight is that there's one other issue on JSON API we're working on to get pagination working. And it's become kind of a rabbit hole for our team. So Matteo, I may be bugging you this week about it. Here, I'll post the D.O issue in here.
Okay, cool. I don't have that under my radar. So yeah, I mean, we can talk about it later this week. You are involved in the planning of Decoupled Dev Days. Is that correct? Please
Yes.
make sure that every week when you join, don't feel like the pressure of joining every week if you can't. But every time that you join, make sure that I give you an outlet to give a small update on that, because that's very important. I didn't
Awesome.
know
Will
that
do.
you were involved on the planification of that.
Just a question
Yep.
for other people. Do you know how long the call for papers will be open? Just in case someone decides last minute to post
Very
something.
good question. I don't have that date super handy, but I think it's going to be, it's mid-July. like 10th or 11th of July, I think.
Sorry, muted myself. I was navigating in another window. The form for submission says July 11th. So yeah, for me, I worked in integrating the auto deploys whenever someone commits something to master for the distribution. There is a separate repo, which is a demo site of the distribution that gets updated and gets deployed with the latest changes. So that should make it so the front ends pointing to that site will get the new changes, which I guess that it also means that it may break them, but I mean, oh well, we are in development mode, right? We are trying to figure this out. I wanted the backend to be like fleshed out from the start, so people could start writing front ends. I thought that we got it, but we are kind of backing out on some data modeling decisions, and those may change. I don't think that no one is using those custom block replacements. So in Drupal, they will be custom blocks for the out-of-the-box content initiative for their theme, but we don't have that luxury because they have the content, the concept of a page, and they have the concept of a blog in a page, but we don't have a page. I mean, quite literally, if you're talking about an Alexa integration, right? You don't have a page. So we need to figure out how to deal with that content, because there is I mean, it's important. It's going to be an example because it's a feature that comes up pretty often, and some like ad hoc placement. So we're gonna work on that and probably reach to a decision and expose the API soon. But yeah, I think that it should be pretty stable. Not sure if you have that feeling, but it should be like that. And I don't think I have anything else. Any parting thoughts?
So much exciting stuff going on. This is awesome.
I agree. I think that it went from, yeah, we should have a list of examples of front-end implementations, the things that talk to Drupal, like the full experience. From that to here, I know, I somehow assumed that it would take longer, but hey, I guess that that's what you get when you work with highly motivated people. So thank you a lot.
Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
See you next
Have a good
week.
week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.